The Fast and Furious franchise returns after 2 years with Fast X. So today I thought it was time for me to stop and review Fast and Furious X. Please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SDub Nation, and you are free to comment down below your very own opinion on Fast X, the newest addition to the Fast and Furious franchise. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And with that being said, I mean, I love the Fast and Furious franchise. I just can't wait to talk about this film. With that being said, let's get right into our review.
Dominic Toretto, you're about to learn all about fear. Boom! You built such a beautiful life, filled with love and family. I never got that chance.
Anytime there's a new Fast and Furious film, I'm instantly excited. With that being said, let's move right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that I really enjoyed this movie. Dare I say loved. I gotta say it. I loved this movie. It truly feels like something of the start of a conclusion, basically. You know, every one of these posters and teasers and pseudonyms, the titles of these movies always have End of the Road or One Last Ride, everything like that. But no, truly here it feels like a conclusion or the start of one. In fact, there are characters in this film that literally talk about the good old days, and yeah, these characters and actors specifically are getting older. They can't do these stunts, these insane car heists anymore. They can't do these things anymore. So I find it pretty fascinating that, yeah, they're talking about the good old days. Remember 10 years ago when we drove safe through the city of Rio? Yeah. The good old days. To be fair, the best thing about Fast and Furious films is the over-the-top car action to me, where every film since 4 just upped the action with this ridiculousness, but with 9, they went to space. And here in X, it is such a nice change of pace that this film dialed it back a little bit and goes back to the ridiculousness. It's still ridiculous, but the ridiculousness that we loved of 7 and 6. In fact, you go from 5, dragging us safe through Rio, 6, tanks, airplanes, 7, the cars are jumping through buildings, 8, they got to take out a submarine with a car, and then 9, they go to space. In this movie, what I remember is, hey, we're going to have a street race to see who dies. Yeah, let's just see. Like, look, Dom, you have to save one of these people. Only one lives, but someone has to die. So there's action in this film that is ridiculous, yes. Cars guiding bombs through cities, and there's this one ridiculous scene that involves a car and a crane, but some of it is still pretty practical stuff. And I look at the Rome sequence, for instance, like I was just talking about, and that's actually Jason Momoa riding a motorcycle. That's actually a prop bomb on fire. That's actually Michelle Rodriguez riding a motorcycle, and some of the stunts on the motorcycles, yeah, you can do that. As a person, you can do that. So I really enjoyed some of these sequences, and also just the scope of it all. I mean, they spent $340 million on this film, so I expect them to go to different locations, different cities, different countries, and they do that. I mean, just like they do in every other Fast and Furious film. The action sequences themselves are what I come to Fast and Furious films for, and these did not disappoint. The Fast 5 connection not only returns to the best film in the franchise, but also gives us a revenge plot like 7. By showing the consequences of dragging us safe through Rio, that created one of the family's deadliest villains in Dante. And I think Jason Momoa's performance here as Dom's Joker, as people are saying on the internet, is just incredible. I mean, he looks like he's having a blast. He's having so much fun. And also the villain himself is just a really good foil to the family. I mean, some of his stuff is contrived, but I'll get into that later. This film is essentially taking everything that Dom loves and stripping it away from him. And I think by the end of the film, you feel that, oh yeah, everything is stripped away from Dom in this moment. What is he going to do? How is he going to get out of this? And then the movie ends. So it ends on a cliffhanger, and I think that was the best possible way to end this film, and it got me excited for the future of these movies. And it all comes down to how great the tension was inside of the scene, thanks to Jason Momoa's Dante. The villain is just a really good villain, and it's one of their best villains in the Fast franchise since F7, I gotta say. I applaud Jason Momoa, and I can't wait to see him in this role once again. our mixed section here, and like I said in the positives, it ends on a cliffhanger. This is not a bad thing. This is not a good thing. It's just things I wanted to talk about. Yes, it does end on a cliffhanger, so it does feel like the movie is not complete. And when I walked out of the movie, I enjoyed the cliffhanger enough that it got me to the point where I love this movie. And when I get inside of the summary part, you're going to see where I kind of rank the movie. But I got to say, I walked out thinking, yeah, that was a good ending, but it doesn't feel complete. See, when I was talking to people, I called it the Avengers Infinity War of the Fast and Furious film. But the only similarities is the cliffhanger. The difference here is that Avengers Infinity War had a story. Thanos goes after the stones. He gets the stones. End of story. The movie ends there. Yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger because half the characters die, but that's his own standalone movie. And if the MCU ended there, you can't say that it ended not complete because that was the story. The story was Thanos gets the stones. In this film, well, the story is the problem. And with that being said, let's move right into the bad. And the bad thing that comes to mind here is that the story sucks a little. Yes, it's a revenge plot for the villain, but for most of the film, there is just no way that Dante knew characters would be in this place at this time. It feels very convoluted and very contrived situations. The story itself doesn't utilize all of its characters the best way. In this one, the ensemble is back, but they're wasted, and it feels like they're only back just because, hey, we gotta have Tyrese and Ludacris inside of the Fast and Furious movie, but they don't do anything. The big thing about F9 was that justice for Han. Okay, Han comes back. At the end of that movie, he shows up at Shaw's place. I'm thinking to get revenge. This movie doesn't go that route. And no spoilers, but, I mean, probably most of everybody already seen the movie. That movie doesn't go this route. And it just felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do with Han. They didn't know what they wanted to do with Tej. They didn't know what they wanted to do with Roman or Ramsey. It just felt like characters are just there. Mia, just there. Also, Brie Larson is in this movie. She does nothing. There was no reason for her to be in this movie at all, because they didn't do anything with her. And also, I guess it's a little bit of a nitpick, but then again, I mean, this movie could have been saved, could have went up a lot higher if it was funny. All of the other Fast and Furious films were they had some pretty good jokes in there. I mean, when I watched them in theaters, I laughed, and also at the ridiculous car action. And of course, I, rolled my eyes at a lot of things inside of this movie and smiled a lot, but I didn't laugh. There was only one joke that made me laugh, and that was during Pete Davidson's scene. So the movie just wasn't that funny to me. And I guess I want to talk a little bit about the runtime. It's very long, and it goes on entirely too long. I feel like they could have saved a good 30 minutes off this movie. And I think from them cutting off that 30 minutes, the pacing could have worked a lot better here. Thus, the story would have worked a lot better here. In conclusion, Fast X, I gotta say, with all of its problems, and don't get mad at me for this, it's the best Fast movie since 7. By dialing it back and giving us a fun villain in Dante that's here to entertain, but also to break Dom down due to what he did in 5, I had fun. And once it ended, my jaw dropped to the floor, and now I can't wait to see what comes next. Actions have consequences. I gotta say, it's an A- for me and an 8.6 out of 10. On the grading scale, it's an 8.6 out of 10, but entertainment, A-. And I would say it's the best Fast and Furious movie since 7. When you go in, look, and I think 7 is my number 2 favorite. I don't think it's number 3, but it's the best one since 7. I really love this movie, and I can't wait to go see it again. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion, and you are free to comment down below. What did you think of Fast X, the newest Fast and Furious film? Like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. It's going to pop up on your screen right now. And also don't forget to come back in the future for Fast Films Ranked. And with all that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and I will see you all next time. Peace.